Hey, welcome back to Defenders Redux Quest for Completion. It is episode 14, and this episode is going to be mainly side progression type stuff. Basically, I want to level up a bunch of our characters. I want to level up a initiate, finally. I know I was said this. I said I was going to do this like 2 episodes ago, but we're going to level it up this episode. And then our barbarian for finishing the Sky City and being able to do that map on survival, and then probably a monk. I'm not entirely sure, to be completely honest with you guys. I don't know 100% if I'm gonna level up a monk. It might be leveling more with the EV a bit more. I don't know. But yeah, and the other plan for the episode is Lab Assault. Doing this on Ascension Ruthless. I finally have a method that'll do this map in about 7 minutes, give or take, which is definitely the time range that I was always aiming for. This way we can farm a lot of accessories. If you guys don't know, Lab Assault on Ascension Ruthless, I guess Ascension Hardcore as well, probably. But on Ascension Ruthless drops endgame accessories like some of the best ones that are not in True Boss Rush. It's the same quality as any other map. Say like we've been doing, I think Winter Wonderland 2 was one of the ones we did. So it'll be about the same quality that we get from Winter Wonderland. It'll vary a lot more, so you'll see a lot more really bad pieces of accessories. But the upside is you will get 2 times the amount of accessories. I think it's probably the same quality overall. Because if I remember correctly, the Winter Wonderland 2 didn't really have amazing accessories overall in that first run, funnily enough. But yeah, you get 8 accessories total, 2 per character open for Lab Assault on Ascension. And these accessories can be like any accessories. You can get like crystalline accessories. It was like you can get the Halloween ones, the Christmas ones. You just get whatever from this. Um, but since there's no set bonus other than visual for having accessories matching, that doesn't really matter. But yeah, so we're gonna farm accessories here as well. That's gonna be probably the first half of the episode. I wanna have about an hour or so farming session of Lab Assault, um, and then after that, it's gonna be leveling the characters. Now it's gonna be an hour for me, but for you guys, it'll probably be a lot less. I'll probably just include the very first run that we do of Lab Assault, and then after that, it'll just be sped up and skip straight to the loot, more or less. Probably just have some like little tidbits in the middle of that where I say something stupid, probably. Anyways, yeah, that's the plan. I asked you guys in a separate Quest for Completion Extras episode if I should. Wow, my chair is creaking a lot. If I should, include this in the most recent episode. If it was too hard, the method that I showed, or anything like that. And from the few people that did respond, it sounds like nope, it's perfectly doable. So yeah, hey, bit of post commentary here. So I had to swap the genie pet that was on my monk previously for this one because the last one actually had negative hero damage, which meant that it was worse for DPS. And as for initiate, which is the other class we're going to be using here, I put all of the gear that was on our DPS EV on the initiate. This Propeller Cat right here was actually on the Jester, so I put that on her as well. And I respected both of them completely, all of their points into hero damage because we're gonna be caring a lot about damage. Now this clip here, I'm just showing you guys how to upgrade armor to have it be perfect, basically. So the way that armor works in Dungeon Defenders, if you don't know, is it'll upgrade the resistances up to a certain point, and then at that point, you can't upgrade anymore until it's the 10th upgrade. So like the 10th, 20th, 30th, 40th, so on and so forth. Those are the only upgrades where you can go above the cap for these resistances. So the way you want to do it is once you have a matching set of armor, you want to upgrade these resistances until they reach 41% on all 4 armors. Once you've done that, you will have wasted basically 0 points in upgrading, and all of your armors combined will give you 90% resistance for all damage types. And this is really what you want because on higher end things, especially with EVs coming up, things do a crazy amount of damage. Also, 90% is the highest you can get in any one category, so keep that in mind. Now then, so for how exactly I'm upgrading here, because we're fighting the EVs, I'm prioritizing generic damage because every enemy does generic damage, and lightning damage because the EVs only do lightning damage. So those are the 2 things that I'm really prioritizing here on the armors that have like kind of limited amounts of upgrades. This chest plate has 300 upgrades, gonna max out and be completely fine, but yeah. As for how I'm upgrading these so quickly, what you can do to upgrade these armors in a really efficient way is if you hold down Shift, it'll upgrade until the 9th upgrade in that armor set, in that armor piece. That way you could just hold shift the entire time and you don't have to worry about missing like, you know, a 1/10 upgrade somewhere, and, you know, not having capped out resistances as a result. If you cap out your damage, by the way, as I have here, just go to your ability 2 or hero HP if you don't have ability 2 on your piece, just to upgrade your damage even more. On other pieces that are like Transcendent or below, you won't actually reach that number of 41 for the resistances, and you go directly to 42. So it's kind of a wasted potential, a little bit of wasted points, but don't worry too much about that. Just upgrade it to at least 41 and maybe a little bit above if you have to, and then upgrade everywhere else that you can. And this is what the stats look like afterwards. Next up is the actual farm for the EVs, or for Lab Assault. Alright, so to start out, you want to get yourself your Initiate up with a cat pet. This is just the meta, but this is the meta, this is the way that I do it. Go into Ascension Ruthless Lab Assault. Give that cutscene. Your cat pet, you don't gotta worry about where she is. Find the crystal over here. It's been a while for me. I think this is the crystal. Whatever you can, put up your hero boost, and then once you have your cat going as well, you will get that done very, very quickly. Hold the right click as you go forward here, and then move over to this area. Try to be a bit faster than I am being with this and try not to fall off the edge there. You go up to that railing where the monk is right now, move your cat over there as well, and then you kind of open your map and find the sweet spot where you're hitting the crystal here. It appears I found. Don't worry if you're hitting the ogre or something else, as long as you're hitting the crystal. Fine. Then finish this crystal as well. Once that crystal is dead, you can leave on your Initiate like that. And then right here, stand around this little bump on the platform and shoot this next crystal over here. Oh yeah, I didn't explain it, but I shot the previous crystal. Well, where is the... I always have trouble finding this crystal. There it is. This crystal always causes problems for me. I want to conserve some hero boost for a second, or some mana for hero boost and healing in general. But yeah, press N to skip the timer here. Normally it's 15 seconds. You get extra time because of Ascension. Remember, have 0 characters out for this section, because if you have more than 1 character, the HP scaling will go through the roof. Personally, not a fan. You can just spam right click a little bit if you want to gain some mana and do a bit of extra damage. I wouldn't recommend spamming it too much, because if you do, the EVs will just not be moving forward at all. They might fall off the map, among other things. Oh, I backed up a little too much. You want to sit around this area. You can try to block their shots a bit if you want to. They shouldn't deal too much. Anyways, just try to get a bunch of them to kind of clump up on top of you here. Again, if they start shooting you like crazy, you back up a little bit. Ow, 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 ow. Alright, there we go. Wow, you are moving close as hell. Alright, and you can jump up here once things start getting really hectic. But yeah, now we have our monk in place. Next up is our Initiate. I kind of messed up the situation for myself, I have realized, as there are a lot of EVs there. But once I move my Initiate here, they'll start moving as well. I guess it is probably a good idea to get your Initiate a little more capped out in resistances and stuff, but I did not. Once you're on this platform, they don't know where to go, but once you go back up here, they realize that it should be somewhere else. She does. The Initiate does have her own drain, or I guess kind of damage boost type ability as well, but I have not found it particularly useful. I don't think it's that effective, is what I mean by that. But yeah, try to get them to clump up again. That looks like it's enough of them. Once you have a good amount of them up here, swap to your Initiate. Probably want to see the screen. Hold the right click, swap back to your monk, and then start your hero boost and fire aura, and hold right click on him as well, and just start going crazy. The combined DPS is actually quite a lot, and because of the way that Genius Scimitars should work, ideally if they're not circling around one, they'll hit every EV once, a total of 5 times a total of 5 times, so they'll hit 5 EVs per Scimitar shot. And as you can see, that's like a lot of damage when you consider how many shots we're just shooting out there. And since they only have 140 million HP, it's not too long to kill all of them. Again, you can put up your Aura of Fire whenever you run out. It's not that huge of a DPS boost, but it is definitely a DPS boost, and we take those when we can get them. Where are the shots going? As you can see, the EVs just jump around to a lot of different places, but more often than not, it doesn't really matter. They can get stuck in some weird places, but thanks to the Redux changes of being able to see the EVs on the map, that doesn't usually matter. All right, once something like this has happened where the EVs have stopped being near you, you can just jump down here on your monk and get them to move back to you again. If they're being a little, I don't know what the term is, but if they're not like doing things properly, you can hit them a little bit to get them to jump up and get out of their stuck spots. But as you can see, most of them are starting to move again. And just do the same thing again. Well, I'm actually going to introduce my other heroes now, as a matter of fact, so that I don't forget to do it later. But yeah, almost all the EVs are here. I'm going to back up a little bit more so they get a bit closer, and I want to get those two who are on the stairs up here as well. If they start hurting you, you can just go back up, and don't worry about that too much. But I'm looking for a bit of a fast finish. So we'll go back on our initiate, hold right click, pop to our main monk, or a fire, right click, and that's pretty much the whole thing. I mean, it's incredibly easy. Once you get it started, you can kind of stand in front of your initiate if she's getting banged up a little too much. That is bad. That is a horrible wording. But yeah, this is the more or less the basics of it. I think this is probably going to be our fastest run. Can we please finish this one off? Scimitar shots are not the best a lot of the times. Very confusing. If your EVs get stuck in like very weird areas, you can move your initiate and your monk up to a different spot, like on the stairs. That definitely does work. Where is this one stuck? This one specifically. Okay, there you are. All right, well, while that one's moving forward, I'm going to move our initiate forward as well. And these stuff. Could you please move? Alright, I'm just going to kill this one off regularly. Never mind. And move our initiate forward. Just try to get the initiate in the range of the aura of hero boost. Very well worded. You don't have to. Oop. There we go. Okay, that took a bit longer than I was hoping. We could have gotten a much faster run. But on average, it's about 7 minutes, give or take. And as you can see, 2 accessories per character. I'm going to actually quickly look at what all of those are. Hopefully they're good. Oh, I bet there's some items in my item box that I should not have kept there. Let's see. How long was that? People who are good at math could probably figure out. I think it was like 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Yeah, 6 minutes 31. Like, oh, you can also get, I think, divine crystals from that as well. And we did actually. You get a divine crystal. Okay. I should probably redeem those sometime soon. Transcendent, bad. Also, one of the main reasons these are so good is because they have so many upgrades. So you can get this with like all positives, more or less. That's that one down there. I'm not hovering over it. That's 11 million. That's pretty good. This is probably good for initiate boost. Doesn't have very good damage. This is pretty good for DPS. Definitely good for our monk. That's nice. It's bad. And this is, I think it's probably better than what we currently have. I was hoping it'd be a bit better than that, actually. 832 versus 834. Barely better. Okay, well, I'll keep it just because it's a bit better. But yeah, you can get some very good accessories. You can see like this one is pretty good, and this one is probably your prime example of what would be a very good accessory. If it just had some hero boost or something like that instead of, you know, whatever else is on here, it would have been a lot better. But it has a lot of upgrades as well. Sorry. Okay, but that's the gist of it. That's how the runs are gonna go. Let me just see, make sure nothing that I put here that I don't want to auto sell. Yeah, that should be all. Okay. This is a pretty okay way to farm mana as well, but I'm not super good. Alright, well I have to re-record this voiceover because I apparently did not have my mic on for the last one. Bit embarrassing. This here is a bit of extra footage for you guys to see just a little bit more of how I went about this, because it might be a little like difficult to do on your first go. Definitely was for me. The first half of this is pretty self-explanatory. There's not really much to see here, so I'm going to speed up through most of that. But the second half is the EVs and making sure that they don't kill you. I'm going to explain something very quickly about how the EVs work from, at least from my experience, so that you guys can understand how to manipulate them. Basically, the thing is, the main goal is not to have the EVs all clump up on your monk right now. For the first little bit here, the main goal is to make sure that there are no EVs that will be in the path of your initiate once you spawn her in. If you start getting like attacked, which I think I am, yeah, right now, you can jump up here and start healing, but just try to make sure that there will not be too many EVs in your initiate's path. The moment that your initiate jumps over this railing, she's public enemy number 1, and all of the EVs will start chasing her like a horde from Left 4 Dead. Look at those things. Ugh. Anyways, on your initiate, jump over this pathway right here, because that'll slow you down, and once you're on this elevator, the EVs will stop moving, and once you get off, they'll start moving again. If they get stuck on the railing there or somewhere in the middle, you can kind of tank it or just walk through the side and try to avoid the damage. Yeah. Now, let me explain something about the EVs, right? So the EVs, what they will do is they will choose a enemy target, let's say, right? If they are on a walkable path, right? Somewhere that they know, like, you know, somewhere where an EV can actually walk to. The EVs will choose that person as their target, and they will just chase that person down relentlessly and try to kill them. But the way that they do it is they will get within like a circle. Let's just say it's like within a meter of target. But they won't actually start shooting at the target until they get within, like, let's say 0.9 meters of the target. So unless you move a bit closer, or the AI bugs out a little bit, or they get stuck on some terrain or something like that, something funky happens, the EVs will actually not try to shoot you. Now this is how, I believe this is how it would work ideally. In reality, every once in a while, an EV is just going to be like, hey, how about you die? Like this one right here. And if that happens, you can just jump around, dodge a little bit, try and get behind a railing, and just keep up your healing. I don't think it'll be too bad of a thing. And then spawn in your initiate, and the same as, you know, this is just the same as always. One thing I should mention is that every once in a while here, I did actually jump down towards the stairs in front of where we have a monk and the initiate, just to have the EVs that are stuck, like on the sides here, that always get stuck, just to be able to kill them a bit easier without having to like drag them all the way back to here. And if you're doing that, again, keep in mind the way that the EVs work. They choose one target, right? So if you have your monk in front and your initiate in the back, if your initiate was the first one to jump down and all the EVs chose your initiate as the target, well, your monk's in the way. So since your monk is, you know, 0.9 meters away from them and or closer, and the initiate is 0.1 or full 1 meter away, they're gonna start shooting the hell out of your monk because, you know, something's gotten to their boundary, right? This last little bit here, this is, I think, just about the worst experience I had with the EVs, where just a whole bunch of them just started annihilating me for no reason. Yeah, you can see that one right there, and those two actually right there just started kicking the shit out of me. And if that happens, just jump up here. Don't be too afraid. I mean, like, it's a bit of time wasted, but it's better than having to reset. Definitely just jump up here and start healing up whenever you can. Aura of Fire, right? Aura of Fire, is, as I said before, not super important, but it is actually a lot of damage when you consider the amount of EVs that you're hitting. So definitely worth going for that. And a few little tidbits here. EVs can get stuck here and there on their pathing to come to you. And it's not the kind of stuck where, like, oh, they'll eventually move out of the way. It's the kind of stuck where you gotta, like, kick them to get them to jump a little bit so that they don't, you know, sit there forever. So if that happens, like in the front entrance or anything like that, that's in your view while you're sitting up here, you can just kind of throw a few knives at them and that'll get them to move. And as a last little tidbit here, make sure to bring in your extra characters before the end of killing all the EVs, right? Because you definitely want to be able to get all that, all these extra accessories. Getting 8 accessories is definitely a lot better than 4. I'll tell you that much. Yeah. And if there is just one EV, well, one extra little tidbit, I guess. If there is just one EV left over somewhere, don't be afraid to just go on your monk and just, you know, just solo kill that thing instead of having to bring your initiate over. That might save a lot of time, might not. I don't know. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this little bit. The rest of it is just super sped up footage of the rest of the hour farming session. And then after this, I think it's just a whole bunch of XP farming in deeper well. And for that, to be honest, I'm literally just gonna like speed it up to 8,000% probably, and then skip towards the end of the video because it is really, really boring farming XP in deeper well. You literally sit there, let's restart every few waves, control a G every once in a while, and that's it. Anyways, I will see you guys at the end of the video. All right, that's about a full hour, I think, of grinding. Um, I don't know. There's not much to say. I mean, it was just an hour of grinding. We've got a few divine crystals, which is great. I think it was about an hour. I hope it was. Divine crystals. I don't think these pets or any of these are really going to be worth looking at. You can get up to ultimate plus plus, probably divine ones as well, considering you can get ultimate ones. But none of these weapons for sure, except for something like this. Actually, I should pay attention to that. You can get special unique weapons if you finish a map on Ascension. It's just a chance, nothing guaranteed. The plane gun is the one that you get for that'd be good. The plane gun is the one that you get for Ranger. That's a Huntress. There you go. Boomerang is the one that you get for Monk, and the one that you get for Squire. I don't think boomerangs are good ever. The one that you get for Squire is I completely forgot. But we didn't get any Squire weapons because we didn't have any characters that are Squire type classes. Anyways, you can get up to ultimate something, probably divine from rewards, but it's just super rare for armors. Alright, let's get into the accessories. This is super dookie. This would be really nice if it had positive hero damage or something. This has negative hero damage, which makes it bad. Great for EV. Example of a good piece. Sort of. Right, there you go. There's a much better DPS piece for us right now. This is also a pretty good DPS piece. Generally, the Supreme ones are going to be the ones that are actually like worth looking at and keeping. This has high enough stats to make me think about keeping it for, I'm not sure what, but I think one of our classes could definitely use that. This might be good for an EV. The negative stats really do feel bad on a lot of these because it's just like, flip that, oh, that's really good. That's a really good DPS piece. Flip that to positive, and all of a sudden, it's like one stat difference between a super good piece and a super disappointing. We have an ultimate. We we got an ultimate. If you don't know, ultimate accessories are exceedingly rare. Super, super, super rare. Another piece for whatchamacallit. That's interesting. I didn't think we get an ultimate. And from the looks of it, it's good for hero boost. Very good for hero boost. A lot of masks that are super good, is what I'm noticing. Not the most ideal situation to be honest, because I think you would want definitely a good mix of items being good rather than just one specific type. These are many, many bad. You wouldn't get very much better on any other map, I think, other than probably. Oh, these are good. Other than probably True Boss Rush, and that's what we're going for, anyways. That's negative on hero damage and hero HP. I might keep it for a hero boost character though. Might be good for damage. When I say good, for a lot of these, when I say good, I mean like they're okay. They prioritize one stat heavily. Just flip these two to positive. Flip the other two down there to positive, and you have a really good piece. This is good for hero boost or tower boost actually. I might just keep this for the DPS stats. Squire shield is a squire shield. I should probably use a squire now that I think about it. Okay, another. That's a good hat. Okay, that's nice. Really good DPS piece. Very few armor pieces, which definitely sucks. I would much rather get a lot more armor pieces than I would. There you go. Okay, that's a pretty good armor piece. Not amazing, but I would rather get more good armor pieces than I would get very very good DPS pieces. Armor tower. What am I saying? Sorry, my brain's a bit fried. Okay, that was about 5 minutes. I might speed that up. And that's all the mana that we're gonna get from that. Now let me quickly swap our monk back to a ranger monk. Spec. All back into range. And put all these items back on her. There we go. Back to the OG stats. Probably put all those items back on our EV, on our EV. Yeah, swap this cat. Ooh. I didn't realize so many of our characters have mythical pieces of gear. I thought we were above that. Wow, we should really redeem these divine crystals. We have a lot of them. All right, I'm gonna. Okay. That would take a while to boost our stats significantly. I don't know if it's exactly worth it, but it probably. I mean, I know it's worth it. It's just it would take a while. I might just focus on getting more characters up and stuff like that instead. I'm just going to cut to when I've equipped all of the accessories on all the appropriate characters, and I'll come back to you guys after that's finished. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys where I put all the accessories, and as I do that, I'm going to explain why. First, actually, I'm going to explain why. So on our apprentice, these are the accessories. The thing is, you don't really care that much about HP on an apprentice. You care the most about damage because it scales the best. You care about range just because, you know, range, lightning towers, deadly strikers, it's pretty important, but not super, super important. And rate because it scales with damage. Not as good as damage, which is why you don't care about it as much, but definitely keep it pretty high. Yeah, these are the accessories that we got on her. Next one is the EV. I always forget the names of this. I've done this a few times. Sorry if it's not very concise or clear. But yeah, we have just these two on her. This one I was a little contemplating a bit because on an EV you only really care about damage, HP, and rate. But range is somewhat important as well. Probably keep it above 1k if you can, around 2k, but anything more than that is a bit needless. But yeah, that's what we got on her, and that's why we got it on her. Next up is our summoner. Summoner just has a bunch of negatives in attack speed. That's just because the animations for the minions can only be so fast, so it doesn't really matter that much. You only care about HP, a little bit of damage. You're not really using your summoner for DPS. We also have negative speed, but I don't think that'll matter too much because we just go into overload mode to summon our towers anyways. I don't know. If it matters, we'll find out later. Next up is our Aura Monk. Words. Main thing is range. You don't really care about rate that much, but range is super important. After that, I think it's probably HP because you want to keep your towers up, and then damage. These two are pretty tied in my opinion, but I would probably keep a bit more HP than I would damage, just because I'm not using any more electric auras, so there's a lot of diminishing returns on slow and weakened auras when it comes to damage. And then rate, it's rate. Doesn't really affect our auras very, very much at all. Next up is our Huntress. Exact same thing with her. As always, Huntress has horrible negative speed, but what's new? These are the accessories on her. Negative rate and negative damage. We really do not care about damage on our Huntress because we don't use any of her towers to damage. We just use the gas and oil traps. And the rate, kind of important, but not really. The main thing is definitely just radius and HP. And next up is our monk. Just, you know, do the stats. Just overall well-rounded. I put the genie off for the moment, but the very good communication me. And last is our EV, and just these glasses. One thing I noticed, we just got a crazy amount of masks. I mean, even though I've already like looked through and equipped stuff, we have a bunch of masks left over. Like it's literally two of these things and then just masks. I don't get why. Also, sadly, this was not very useful for us, and I think even when we do get a character up for ability 1, initiate probably, it's not going to be very useful even then, just because we have this or we have, I guess it's just, you know, either one of these. But yeah, it's kind of sad. But yeah, that's that. As you can see by the eyeball pet I have equipped, that's we're gonna be doing some leveling right now. I should actually upgrade this eyeball pet. I didn't realize it was uncapped out. Ooh, there we go. So yeah, we're gonna be doing a bit of leveling now. Same plan as always. I think I might try something out. I might try something new out as well, to be honest. But this city town in the cliffs ascension first wave. The heroes we're leveling right now is gonna be this one of our monks, because we want to have a overall, like, you know, big DPS dealer monk, which is going to be this one. This is what we're going to be doing like true boss rush and stuff like that on. And then we also want to have a monk for just tower boost, and then eventually one for just hero boost as well. And then maybe later on one for a mix of both. And then this one is going to be our initiate boost. Initiate, very important that we get that done. And then a barbarian probably. Either the barbarian or the EV. I'm not entirely sure. Probably the barbarian. We're going to be using a barbarian for something like Sky City. Yeah, Sky City. It's very useful for the boss here because it can ignore the regular damage cap that's there. Although I don't really know if that's going to matter that much. I don't know. It's just the one way I know how to do Sky City, and yeah, I mean that's it. Okay, so let's get into it. I think I will probably go into a bit of deeper well first wave farming for the first little bit, because we need to get our characters up to 78 and one character to 74 respectively, so that they can equip the eyeball pets and get the XP rewards. Let's bring them in real quick. This is really boring, so I'm just gonna have this sped up. Alright, that's all of the characters up. I got the EV up to 100, which took a bit longer than I thought it would, but not that much. I think it's like a billion and 60 million XP or something like that. And all the other characters are also 93, or in the case of our monk, or not monk, initiate, 94. Yeah, so I think what I'll do now for the rest of the episode, there's not really much to do actually. I just want to show you guys a quick, I want to do a little showcase, I mean, of how good you can have, how much the initiate boost can help your towers. If I have somewhere in this, is it in the pet section? Yeah, so this is our best pet for that. I'm sure in the swap out section. That's got a lot of ability 1, which is what we're looking for. I don't think I actually have an armor set set up for ability 2, or ability 1, I mean. Which I should have thought about. Yeah, I should have thought about that. But here we are, with me not having thought about it, and having to deal with the consequences as a result. And we don't care about damage, right? I think that's all the accessories I can actually equip on this character for now. Is this a better scimitar? Nope. Now I need a set of armor. Armor set, one could say. Is it? Oh, wait, I didn't even realize I had this. Okay, that's slick. This is worse than my current one. Oh, we definitely have a lot of... We have plenty of armors. Alright, I'm not going to look at anything too much for now. I just want to get a quick set... I don't have gloves. I want to get a quick set of armor to showcase the strength of ability 1. I do not have gloves. We'll get gloves. Alright, speed. But yeah, this is just going to be a character for initiative boosting. That's literally the entire purpose of this character. Like, it's not... I'm not even going to be, like, farming that other map. Farming Lab Assault with this thing alive. It's exclusively initiative boosting, because there's... I don't know, there's no real point otherwise. Wrong area. Let's get some gloves. Mythical Transcendent. Let me look for something that's actually decent. None of these are that. None of these are actually decent. This is really good for range. Wow. I think I re-roll because I have so many crystals lying around. Just in case things go south, though, I will keep this one. Again, got Ultimates and Supremes. Yeah, here we go. Here's a good example. Might actually be good. No, I'm looking at gear when I shouldn't be. These are better for the purposes, but the other ones are also really good. This is okay. These are transcendent. We don't care. Okay. I don't know if I equipped those ultimate gloves. I didn't. Here it is. Oh wait, there was a yeah. Okay. Sorry. And I think we need boots now as well. Yes. You have 0 chest pieces. Okay. Well, that's something else we need. I imagine one of these will have a good chest piece. Here we go. And I just reached out a bunch of helmets. I thought we had a bunch of everything, but it just turns out we have a crazy amount of DPS helmets for some reason. We are missing boots. Yes, we are missing boots. These look to be the better pair. Well, sort of. Now then, here's the stats. Just about 3k initiative boost. Actually, I should respec. I just realized that. So I'm going to show you guys really quickly. Probably in an actual map, I will go in there and that will be how I show you guys the initiative boost. I know. I'll go into Town in the Cliffs and show you guys how it looks like there. None of these are useful, right? Yeah, none of these are useful. I hope. Spec 2. I don't know how initiative boost scales, by the way. I'm not entirely sure of that. Somebody does know, please tell me, but regardless. Here's all I'm going to do. I'm going to build a simple aura in Town in the Cliffs. I don't even have Ruthless on. Put it right here. And then I will go swap to my initiate boost. Bring in my monk so you guys can actually like see what it looks like. And yeah. So this is how initiate boost works. 3. That's what it looks like. It is quite effective, as one might imagine. Like to show that off, you know what I'll do? I'll go in and I'll show you guys even more a little bit. I don't think it'd be that effective. I'll be honest here. I knew it was gonna be really good. I didn't know it was gonna be that good though. I'll put down a weaken aura because it's a bit bigger and it'll show off the effect a bit more. And I'll put up a buff beam. Wait, hold on. I know this is a little extra, but I really want to show off how good this is. I'll go into survival. With this, why not? And we'll go all the way up to the final wave so we get a bajillion mana from the chests. Go. Yeah. Because what I want to do, I'll place it right here actually, is I want to show off what it looks like when everything's maxed out. You got a buff beam and everything. Oh yeah, we have hearts on our EV. That's going to be interesting for 10 seconds and obnoxious for the rest of the time. There we go. Initiate boost. I should really put her in a section of the character select screen that I remember, because at the moment I'm just kind of fumbling around in the dark. Alright, that's that. Let's bring in our monk. There we go. So as you can see, I mean, the aura is already pretty damn huge, just from the buff beam, right? But now, I can bring in our initiate and make it even bigger. Yeah. Look at that. That's covering, like, really far. That's covering so far. Alright. But yeah, we're going to be using that for a whole slew of things. That word doesn't sound right. Halloween Spooktacular 3, I have this in mind in particular, actually. I want to get a better eyeball pet, just to have, to be honest. Then after that, Town of the Cliffs, we can get the survival, our weapons farm going. Not really Infested Ruins. Wintermire for sure. We can actually do the survival properly. Wonderland 2, we can do the regular map much faster. We can do the survival. Doing the survival. And then probably do some stuff for like not really the campaign because we don't have any plans for that, but like Sky City, I imagine it's pretty useful. But yeah, that's it for this episode. I apologize if it's just a bunch of like, if it feels a bit bad. If it's a bit bad. I don't know. I'm really not in the. I'm really not in it right now. I don't know, but it's a bit of a filler episode, if you will. Anyways, so yeah, thank you guys for watching. It's been Dungeon Defenders Redux Quest for Completion, episode 14, and I'll see you guys in the next one.